Hi everyone, today we will be beginning with the example session on the chapter Endocrine Glands and Hormones. Alright, this was an important chapter. It had a lot of complex terms and we learnt about how hormones work, what are hormones, what are glands, what is the endocrine system, the disorders of the endocrine system. Now we have some questions on the same. Let's start. Which of the following is not a function of hormones? Alright, so out of these options, which is not a function of hormones? Regulation of growth and development, control of body temperature, coordination of bodily functions, transmission of nerve impulses. So the correct option is option D, transmission of nerve impulses. Which type of glands secrete their hormones directly into the bloodstream? Okay, exocrine glands, endocrine glands, sebaceous glands, sweat glands. So the correct option is option B, endocrine glands. Endo means inside, into. Exo means outside. We exhale, outside, out. The master gland of the endocrine system is thyroid gland, adrenal gland, pituitary gland or pancreas. Correct option is option C, of course, pituitary gland. Which hormone is responsible for regulating the body's metabolism? Okay, so this hormone is responsible for regulating the metabolism. What was metabolism? The burning of food, of fat, of energy to produce energy, right? So A, thyroxine, insulin, testosterone, or D, estrogen. So the correct option is option A, thyroxine. Can you guess where it is coming from? Thyroid, right? Thyroxine, thyroid. This is responsible for metabolism. Always remember, alright? So thyroid is metabolism. Which hormone stimulates the kidneys to reabsorb water, reducing urine output? Okay, so this is a very interesting question. Which hormone? It stimulates the kidney, means it will direct the kidneys to reabsorb water, reduce the urine output. So if this hormone is released, I will produce less urine. Okay, is it A, insulin, glucagon, vasopressin, adrenaline? Okay, so the correct option is option C, vasopressin. Okay, let me tell you, have you seen a person drinking alcohol? All right, when they are drunk, right? We all have seen in movies or in personal life, we have seen people who drink. So what alcohol does to your body is it will direct your pituitary gland to produce more vasopressin. Okay, that directs the kidneys to reabsorb water and reduce the urine output. This happens on alcohol. Okay, when someone drinks, they say beer. Okay, it is an alcoholic drink. What happens? It produces more and more urine. So what happens is vasopressin is switched off. Okay, vasopressin is no longer produced. So it will not reabsorb water. It will produce more and more urine. The body will produce more and more urine. All right. Which gland is responsible for the production of insulin? Insulin is produced by which gland? Pancreas, adrenal gland, pineal gland, or the thymus gland? Correct option is option A, pancreas. Alright, pancreas. The hormone oxytocin is responsible for what? Regulating blood sugar, regulating sleep patterns, stimulating uterine contractions during childbirth, regulating bodily temperature. So the correct option is option C, stimulating uterine contractions during childbirth. Which hormone is primarily involved in the regulation of calcium levels in the body? Regulation of calcium levels. Estrogen, progesterone, calcitonin or testosterone. Correct option is option C, calcitonin. You can see from the name, calcium, calcitonin. This is the one that is responsible for regulation of calcium levels. Which gland is responsible for the production of melatonin? Thyroid gland, pituitary gland, pineal gland, adrenal gland. The correct option is option C, pineal gland. It produces melatonin. What does melatonin do? It helps you sleep. Okay, so whenever I'm trying to sleep, I need a dark room. Melatonin is produced. Which hormone stimulates the development of male secondary sexual characteristics? I told you for male characteristics, progesterone, estrogen, testosterone, oxytocin. Correct option is option C, testosterone produced by the testes in males. Which gland is responsible for the production of adrenaline? Okay, it is responsible for the production of adrenaline. Thyroid gland, adrenal gland, pituitary gland, pancreas. It is the adrenal gland. Diabetes is a disorder caused by the malfunctioning of which gland? Adrenal gland, thyroid gland, pancreas, pituitary gland. It is C, pancreas. Which hormone is responsible for the development of female secondary sexual characteristics? The female characteristics. Progesterone, estrogen, testosterone, oxytocin. It is B, estrogen. Both progesterone and estrogen are produced, but estrogen is what majorly directs the female characteristics. The thyroid gland produces which hormone? Insulin, glucagon, thyroxine, adrenaline. Okay, correct option is option C, thyroxine. Okay, thyroid, thyroxine. Sometimes from the name of the gland you can make out what type of hormone will it produce. Alright, what is the name of the hormone that gland is producing? So always see for the name. Adrenaline means adrenal, thyroxine means thyroid. Okay, just insulin and glucagon are from pancreas. These are what you have to remember. Which gland is responsible for the production of growth hormone? Okay, it was called GH. So which gland is responsible for the production of growth hormone? Thyroid gland, adrenal gland, pituitary gland or the pancreas? Yes, the correct option is C, pituitary gland. It produces the growth hormone. And which part of the pituitary gland? The anterior pituitary. Okay, the anterior pituitary produces the growth hormone. Which hormone regulates the sleep-wake cycle? Regulates the sleep-wake cycle. Oxytocin, melatonin, thyroxine, insulin. The correct option is right, melatonin. If it is sleep related, it is melatonin. Gigantism is caused by the overproduction of growth hormone by the, so if a person is a giant, means he's very tall, he's very big. That is the overproduction of growth hormone by the thyroid gland, adrenal gland, pineal gland, pituitary gland. We all know growth hormone is by the pituitary gland. When it overproduces growth hormone, it leads to gigantism, means a very big, a giantish kind of person, means very tall. Okay, that is due to a lot of growth hormone. Which gland is responsible for the production of progesterone? Progesterone is produced by which gland? Thyroid gland, ovaries, testes, adrenal gland. So I remember telling you progesterone is a female hormone. Okay, it is responsible for female characteristics apart from estrogen. So it is produced by the ovaries. Ovaries are in females. Which hormone is responsible for stimulating contractions during labor? Like I told you, uterine contractions to push the baby out. It is done by which hormone? Oxytocin, melatonin, thyroxine, insulin. It is A. Oxytocin. Oxytocin. Which gland is responsible for the production of adrenaline and cortisol? Okay, so from adrenaline I have adrenal. Is it thyroid? Is it pituitary? Is it pancreas? No, it is the adrenal gland. Produces adrenaline and cortisol. What were the functions? Fight or flight. Cortisol in response to stress. Right? The Cushing syndrome is caused by the overproduction of hormones by the dash. Overproduction of hormones by the dash. Thyroid gland, adrenal gland, pineal gland or pituitary gland. Right? It is overproduction of the adrenal gland. When there is a lot of cortisol produced. Okay? Lot of cortisol produced. That is the Cushing syndrome. Cortisol is produced by the adrenal gland. Adrenal gland. Which hormone is responsible for regulating blood sugar levels? Again, blood sugar, we know what type of hormone is responsible for blood sugar. That is it A, insulin? Is it glucagon? Is it thyroxine? Is it estrogen? This one is solely responsible for the blood sugar levels. It is insulin. Glucagon is responsible for raising blood sugar levels, not regulating. Regulating mostly means bringing it down, alright, to a regular level. It is A, insulin. Which gland is responsible for the production of testosterone? Thyroid, ovaries, testes, adrenal. It is C, testes. Okay, they are located outside the body. In males only. Which hormone is responsible for the regulation of water balance in the body? This hormone is responsible for the regulation of water. Okay, so is it vasopressin, oxytocin, thyroxine, insulin? It is vasopressin. 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 Which gland is responsible for the production of estrogen? Alright, this gland is responsible for the production of estrogen. Thyroid, ovaries, testes, adrenal. It is B, ovaries. Which hormone is responsible for stimulating milk production in the breast? So when a female is pregnant, it's with a baby, it's in its gestation period, it will stimulate milk. Now, for production of milk, which hormone is responsible? Okay, so since it is a female characteristics, which of these hormones will be responsible for making a milk in the breast, right? So the correct option would be A, oxytocin. For female milk production in breasts. Which gland is responsible for the production of parathyroid hormone? The parathyroid hormone. The correct option, is it A, thyroid? Is it B, adrenal? Is it C, pituitary? Or is it D, parathyroid gland? It is D, parathyroid hormone, parathyroid gland. Don't take thyroid gland. It is parathyroid gland. Which hormone is responsible for stimulating the development of ovarian follicles? Alright, this is in the ovaries, ovarian follicles. Is it estrogen? Is it progesterone? Is it testosterone? Is it oxytocin? Correct option is option A, estrogen. Estrogen is what stimulates, means starts, the development of ovarian follicles. Which gland is responsible for the production of thymosin? Thymosin. Okay, this is a new question. Thyroid gland, adrenal gland, thymus gland, pituitary gland. I think again you can tell it is the thymus gland. Thymosin, thymus. Which hormone is responsible for the regulation of the body's response to stress? How does my body respond to stress? Alright, what is the response to stress? Like if there is a very tedious task given to me, there are a lot of tasks, I'm not getting rest, I have a lot of stress. How will my body respond to it? What will it produce more? Cortisol, melatonin, thyroxine, insulin. It is correct A, cortisol, by the adrenal gland. My pituitary gland will direct the adrenal gland to produce more cortisol. Cortisol is harmful. Alright. Which gland is responsible for the production of luteinizing hormone? LH, luteinizing hormone. Okay. Luteinizing hormone. Is it A, thyroid gland? Is it B, ovaries? Is it C, testis? Is it D, pituitary gland? Correct option would be D, pituitary gland. Okay, so the pituitary gland produces luteinizing hormone. Which hormone is responsible for stimulating the production of RBCs, that are the red blood cells? What do red blood cells do? They carry oxygen in the blood. They are red in color. They are the smallest cell in the body, right? We need a good amount of red blood cells to carry oxygen in our body. Which hormone is responsible for starting this? Is it estrogen? Is it progesterone? Is it testosterone? Is it erythropoietin? Erythropoietin. What is the correct option? It is D. This hormone is responsible for production of red blood cells. Which gland is responsible for the production of human growth hormone, HGH? Thyroid gland, adrenal gland, pituitary gland, or the pancreas? The correct option would be C, pituitary gland. Which hormone is responsible for stimulating the development of the uterine lining? Okay, so we know what is responsible for shedding of the uterine lining, that is oxytocin. Alright, now for the development of the uterine lining, that is a female characteristics, what is required? Is it estrogen? Is it progesterone? Is it testosterone? Is it oxytocin? It is B, progesterone. Progesterone is what is required for uterine lining to start. Which gland is responsible for the production of aldosterone? It is another hormone, that is aldosterone. Is it the thyroid gland? Is it the adrenal gland? Is it the pineal gland? Is it the pituitary gland? Correct option is B, adrenal gland. Okay, it produces aldosterone. It also produces aldosterone. Which hormone is responsible for regulating the body's response to low blood sugar level? So now my body has low blood sugar level. I want to increase it. What hormone will my body secrete? Insulin, glucagon, thyroxine, estrogen. It is B, glucagon. Which gland is responsible for the production of antidiuretic hormone, ADH? Thyroid gland, adrenal gland, pituitary gland, pancreas. The correct option would be C, pituitary gland. ADH is produced by pituitary gland. Which hormone is responsible for the stimulating contraction of smooth muscles in the uterus during childbirth. So the contraction of the muscles in the uterus during childbirth means the pushing out of the baby is option A, oxytocin. Oxytocin, childbirth every time. Which gland is responsible for the production of cortisol? And also, oxytocin is produced by the posterior pituitary in females during childbirth. So it is in females only. Which gland is responsible for the production of cortisol? Thyroid, adrenal, pineal, pituitary. By now all we know is adrenal gland. So which hormone is responsible for regulating the body's response to high blood sugar levels? If my blood sugar level is high, I need it to be regulated. It is A, insulin. Okay, insulin is what regulates that body sugar level. Alright. So I hope you like this lecture. Thank you.